Hi, folks. This is Dr. Rex Gatto, a business psychologist. Today, I'd like to share with you concepts of self-coaching so that you might be able to help yourself and help others with whom you work. To begin, I'd like to talk about self-coaching. What is self-coaching? I've defined it as a methodology for self-reflection by asking yourself questions. You know those quiet times when you're in the car or you're looking out the window? Those thoughts that you have that lead to behavioral change. We'll focus on some of those questions that could be very helpful. Others have defined self-coaching as the ability to bring mindful attention. Mindfulness is being in the moment, focusing on beliefs, and everyone has a story. Each person has their own individual story. And then we can get into thoughts and patterns and habits. People talk about that as self-coaching. And the ability to have a greater awareness from which you can create change and experiment for yourself in a very non-judgmental way within yourself. I want to talk a little bit about victim thinking. Victim thinking is based on two variables. I did not want this to happen, but I got it. I did not want this to happen, but the pandemic of the virus, the pandemic of stress, the pandemic of misinformation has come to me. Kids being home, virtually schooled, national leaders not leading, social unrest, economic chaos, people of prominence not speaking the truth. All of these are things that are impacting us. We've got them. We didn't want them. When that happens, we can begin to think like a victim. Victimization, victim thinking, can lead to burnout, which is an emotional and physiological response. There was a famous physician, Hans Selye, who did original work some 60, 70 years ago on stress, that concept of flight or fight. And today we can do neither. Because of that, we mentally, emotionally, physically get caught. We can feel our muscles, our bodies reacting to that. You're very much aware of hormonal levels, cortisol. And this creates mental and physiological tension. This is a form of stress and burnout. Take a moment and examine this graph. I found an article, 30 plus shocking physician burnout statistics by Maria Clark. Please note that this was just written in October. I'd like to share a few of those statistics with you. Taking a look at the graph on the far left, you see 96. Those are healthcare workers, physicians. 65 say this is a serious problem right now. Burnout is a serious problem. 31 say moderate. Hospital leaders, your organization, that's 83. Still high, but not quite as high as the physicians. Clinical leaders and executives within hospitals are saying this is a problem. They don't see it quite the same level as the physicians, but we all see it as a problem. What are some of the statistics in the article by Maria Clark? First, workload. Physicians report working 50 to 80 hours a week. But the stress of kids at home, the stress of economic chaos, the stress of the pandemic, and worrying about getting the pandemic for those who work in hospitals, that workload is exacerbated. Many physicians believe that they can handle the burnout. I can keep going. It's just like the frog in the boiling pot of water, and we know what happened to the frog. Then 40% of the doctors say that burnout is due to lack of resources. The overcrowding within the hospitals, the census, PPE, just now getting the vaccine. It's estimated also that there is a cost to burnout. Number one, because physicians are cutting back in their hours. Turnover, replacement of physicians. It's estimated that at up to $6.3 billion in change. This article also goes on to talk about nurses. 18% of the nurses report that they are emotionally exhausted, in a depressed mood. Doctors and nurses have professional regrets about, why did I get into this medical profession? And among physicians who indicated that they were burned out, that they were stressed, they've indicated 10.5% of them that over the last 3 months they made a major medical error. Not surprising when you think of stress and burnout precludes learned thought, our rational thinking. We are emotionally responding because we are emotionally burned out. Do you feel the clouds are rolling in on you? Reflect on this for a moment. Reflect on your life. Do you feel the clouds are rolling in on you? When the clouds roll in and we feel stressed and burned out, we begin to have a distorted negative view of things, a view of ourselves. Anxiousness, avoidance, I don't want to do this. Even thinking that I can't do it anymore. It's almost like the emotional blankets over our rational thinking creates negativity. That leads to a negative view of the future. Again, hopelessness and suicidal aspects. A sad statistic is 300 to 400 physicians a year commit suicide, a completed suicide. That doesn't take into consideration how many attempted suicides. And it is because of this burnout, regrets of a profession, realizing as a high achiever, I can't do all that I believe I could do, which then leads to a negative view of experience, which I pull back and focuses on depression and worry and anxieties. You're feeling overwhelmed, trying to balance family needs, and in particular, mothers are still the caregivers for the families. Yes, there are exceptions, but mothers are the caregivers for the families. Female physicians have tremendous stress trying to keep that family balanced, as well as male physicians who are trying to do the same. Great responsibility, the number of patients, problems within the hospital, peer requests, people feeling fed up within the work environment, hospitals, private practice. Those feelings of being overwhelmed within work. It's not just one thing. It's a combination of many things that cause to feel this burned out. And then our world closes in. Many times people say, oh, Rex, you're a psychologist and you're a shrink. And I say, no, I'm not a shrink. I'm an expander. My job is to expand. If you are looking through this door as a metaphor for your world, is it closing in? This is a narrow view. This is one of the aspects of negative thinking. I'd like to share with you a thought from Norman Mailer, the famous playwright author. He said, every moment of one's existence, one is growing into more or retreating into less. Reflect on this for just a moment. Is your world closing in? Because I'm going to share with you a number of ways in which you can start to expand your thinking. One of the ways to expand your thinking, write a list. Write a list. Leave nothing unexpressed about work, yourself, family, others, peers, anything that is stressing you. Use any language that you want, but get it all out. I want you to fill up the paper. Please put it in a safe place. You could fold it and put it in your pocket, in a locked drawer, or a private folder. It's for you. Put it away for a day, maybe two. Pick up that paper and read it again. You can scratch out anything that no longer bothers you, but you can keep adding to that paper. You could staple another page on that page and continue to write. Or you could rip up the paper that has your negative thoughts. If when you rip up that paper and throw it in the garbage, those negative thoughts go with it. This is a way to express the unexpressed. It's very important that you leave nothing unsaid. If you would like, you can keep adding to it and adding to it, maybe even date the paper so you can see how you felt and when you felt that way. This is a very good way to begin to unburden yourself mentally. Self-coaching questions that can help you, and you could put them on the sheet of paper if you like. Am I stressed and burned out? Why? Am I experiencing a loss of self-esteem? Sometimes we close in on ourselves and we forget to believe in ourselves. A belief in myself is very important. And we begin to question that when we find ourselves very stressed or burned out. Are my expectations about work, about what I do, are they realistic? I believe sometimes people are looking at who they are and what they are in an unrealistic way. Are you looking at problems and denying that they really upset you when they do? Admit to someone when you are having a problem. And feeling hopelessness. Why? What are the aspects of hopelessness for you and in your life? Talk with someone about that. Express the unexpressed. Thoughts of actions. Pause. Don't panic. Pause. Don't panic about the situation you find yourself. Be mindful of what's going on. Please do not fall into doom and gloom. Identify stressors and create a plan. Look at the specific actions. We'll get into that. Specific actions that you can take. Recognize behaviors that you are going through that you know are not good. Recognize those behaviors. Examples of that: your temper, excessive eating, worry, trying to cure every patient, trying to do too much, realizing that you know these are not helpful and healthful acts. Turn challenges into opportunities. You know, a way to think of the pandemic is this. The pandemic is a great opportunity disguised as a national disaster. Reflect on that for a minute. The pandemic is a great opportunity. You know, one of the things as I moved to my home office that was very interesting is during the summer, I saw so many families walking together during the day. Never happened before. Another aspect of helping you help yourself is collaboration. Not only can you go to others, but have others come to you for support. Another way that you want to address burnout, and this is self-coaching aspects. Eat right. You know it. You know to eat right. You know that you need enough sleep. You can't stay up until 3 a.m, get up at 6 and think you're going to be effective. That's not the way the human body works. Drink plenty of water and get exercise. Take short walks, even if you get outside for 5 minutes and we'll walk outside. Getting out of an environment reduces stress. Getting out of that work environment, even for 5 minutes, can reduce the level of stress. Talk to a friend, family member. Try not to take on so much. I know that's easy to say, but limit. Don't keep saying yes, yes, yes when you're thinking, I can't. Give support to yourself and give support to others. Realize who you are and what you know. You have not lost anything. Begin to recognize the signs of stress and burnout, trouble concentrating, having difficulty making decisions, the irritability, the anger, being out of control from a temper point of view, headaches, muscle tension, your neck, rolling your neck and feeling tension, lack of energy. You know that those are signs of burnout. Take care of yourself and help others. When you see something about someone, say something to them. Let them know that you are available to help them. When you leave work, what are your thoughts? When you leave work, do you have positive thoughts of this is what I accomplished today? Or you're thinking, I didn't get to this, I didn't do that. I still have to complete my medical record. I have to get this done. What I might suggest is that you write an I did list of accomplishments. What did you actually do today? Every question you answered, every phone call that you made, reports that you wrote, research that you did. Give yourself credit for what you accomplished. I suggest writing an I did list. Take 5 minutes and just jot down. These are the things that I did today. These are the things I feel good about today. Acceptance of burnout. Put your two palms together, almost like you were praying. Open palms. Now push the left hand against the right and push the right against the left. Push the left against the right against the left against the right. Push, push, push. Stop. That's mental energy. That mental energy of the push within yourself is the energy that you use around negative thinking, taking on too much, stress. That's the push. Now put your left hand up, keep your right hand down. Now push. You notice there's no resistance. There can be a point of accepting. I can accept that these are difficult times. But don't push against your own anger. I should have. I should not have. I'm scared of this. I hate it. This is a disaster. Everything we do is a disaster. Keep in mind that what I just showed you is a metaphor of what happens in stress where we push emotionally our energies against each other, which creates more and more stress and issues that anger us. I have a term, T-RED. Take time for yourself. Talk with someone, including yourself. Read. Write your thoughts in the journal, as I've already suggested to you. Exercise. Listen to music. Do deep breathing exercises. You know how to do deep breathing exercises and meditation. And when you meditate, focus on the positive. When you meditate, focus on self. When you meditate, focus on your breath. When you meditate, be happy. Find a place, a thought of where you were happy. Think about it. Think about relaxation. I'd like you to take a moment with me. Would you breathe deeply? Breathe deeply. Just breathe deeply. Look at the sky and that beautiful sunset and the peaceful water. Take a deep breath. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be." Take control of yourself and your life. Take control. relax. Take a deep breath and just meditate on this picture just for a moment. What do you see? Do your thoughts go to a time of relaxation? Or are you still thinking, I am panicked? A plan of action for yourself. Stop trying to fix everything at once. Set reasonable goals. Schedule yourself time. I'm suggesting you take 15 minutes in the AM and 15 minutes in the PM just for you. 15 minutes. It's not hours. 15 minutes. 15 minutes to decompress. Ask for support and build support in a network with coworkers, friends, people you work with every day. Forget titles. You work with people. You don't work with titles. Help the people with whom you work. A new day is coming, a bright day, a day in which you will find that your energy and your thoughts of positive energy will continue. As you think about yourself, vibrate mentally in a positive way. This is another example of how you can expand your thinking. Any situation that causes stress, jot it down, write it. And I might suggest you do this as a pencil and paper exercise as opposed to just putting it in the computer, but I'll leave that up to you. It seems that when people write pencil and paper, that it debriefs and lessens the stress a little more. I'll leave that up to you. So the situation, what's the cause? What led up to it? What is it right now? Then what do you see as an outcome? And begin to self-coach yourself toward that outcome. And behavioral actions, what are you committed to do to change, to address the situation that causes you stress? It needs action. It doesn't need rumination. Rumination are just, I can, I will. Put something down on a piece of paper and have a commitment to address it. This is a form that you can fill out for yourself. I highly recommend it. I'd like you to look at this beautiful scene and look at every one of those petals on the ground. And those petals on the ground represent every good deed that you have done. They are beautiful good deeds. Give yourself credit for those good deeds. Keep expanding your world. Another exercise that I like to do is advantages and disadvantages. Advantages for doing something, advantages for not doing something. Disadvantages for doing something, disadvantages for not doing something. So in this case, advantages for you working toward change through self-care. You'll feel better. Advantages for not doing it, lost time. I don't have the time to do it. The disadvantages for working towards change. It may not work and you'll feel frustrated and you lost time and you don't have the time to lose. Disadvantages for not, stress may increase. This is an easy way to look at a cost-benefit analysis for yourself. Advantages for not. Disadvantages for not. Try this exercise. And you can also give this as a suggestion to someone else that you see that might be struggling. A new day is coming. Please note, as the new day comes, there is a world of expansion. We are no longer looking through the small door. We have expanded our thoughts. The key to people's capacity to achieve resilience is to be determined through your positive view of your own life. There's a difference between recovery and resilience. If someone breaks a leg, they are going to recover. Are they going to go back to the same level of excitement? Resilience. An athlete, will that athlete play with reckless abandon as he or she did before? Resilience. Sheryl Sandberg, author and executive, said, build resilience in yourself. When tragedy or disappointment strike, know that you have the ability to get through absolutely everything. Learn about yourself. Divide a piece of paper in half. On the left-hand side, write the energizers, things that motivate you. On the right-hand side, the de-energizers, the things that drain you. At the bottom of the page, what inspires you? Focus on your energizers. What inspires you? And begin to write a plan to address the drainers, the de-energizers. That is another way that you can coach yourself. Look at this beautiful vista and the expansion that you have. This is an expanded world. We are no longer looking through that small door. We are expanding our positive thoughts in a very good and healthy way. Don't focus on the realities of the past and then worry about them. Focus on the possibilities of the future. Become the best version of you, the best version of you. What do you want for yourself? What do people with whom you work want from you? What do your patients want from you? I hope you said what you want is happiness. What patients want is an expert to help them have a better quality of life. And that's, as a caregiver, what you do. If there is anything that I might be able to do for you, my email is on the left-hand side. I'd be very happy to address any comments or questions that you have. The quality of life that you want is the quality of life that you can achieve. Nothing can hold you back if you positively vibrate toward the positive life that you want.